What's up, y'all? LTJ Reads is here. This is Throwing Light. And if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. Before we get started, I want to remember y'all, I'm trying to follow this glow up. I'm trying to navigate the waters of social media. I want y'all to support my YouTube channel. It's LTJ's here on YouTube. Like it's literally just start. Well, I've had it, but I just never thought that I could put stuff on there and learn how to be savvy or whatever. So you get all the Throwing Light interviews. You're getting the Throwing Light tours that I'll be doing. I just finished up in New Orleans. I'm hopefully headed to Fort Lauderdale, LA, Atlanta this year, and some cool places that I'm planning for next year. You can catch the tour. It has the panels on there. I've been going around doing live panels around the community, trying to keep us together. And also my creative projects. I've been getting into acting. I've been doing some film directing and stuff. And so that stuff's going to start popping on there. We've got GW Reach in the House of Reeds here, our new house here. My Mr.
Hello,
Awesome
hello.
2026 is going to be joining us, and he's a part of this journey too. So, with that being said, let's go on to our guest, Miss Monica Beverly Hillz. Thank you so much for taking your time to come on Throwing Light. I know you're busy. I already said this to you, but it is an absolute honor.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of
Thank you.
course, of course. So, Monica, I branded this episode as Trans Light, and so we're going to talk about you because you're a light, and this is going to help other people start to lean into their light. This is what Throwing Light's about. So, this is going to be a very healthy conversation, and we're going to kick it off and start with Monica. And Monica, what's going on in your world right now?
Well, as of right now, for the last 2 years, I've been working with, well, I was working with Chicago House and Social Service Agency here in Chicago. They're known for helping HIV and people with impacted by HIV and AIDS find like housing, legal resources, and stuff like that. Um,
What's it called
but
again, Monica?
it's called Chicago House
Okay.
and Social Service Agency. It's such a long word.
That's okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Tell me more.
Yes, yes, yes. Just about 2 years ago, I ended up taking a position being a peer health navigator. So I was helping transgender and gender non-conforming individuals access resources like legal, medical, housing, taking them to their doctor's appointments, like really showing them how to navigate not just a transition, but a little bit of their everyday life when it comes to society as a whole. Because for the younger generation, because I'm 41, the younger generation nowadays, a lot of them have grew up with the internet, so their personas all built behind in the internet, behind a phone. So when they actually go into society, it's a lot for them to handle.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much my job to like help them navigate, figure out, connect them with resources that they need. I ended up taking a position at the jail, Cook County Jail here in Chicago. Uh, we were doing a class where we would go in there and teach them life skills, the transgender and gender not confirming inmates. And that's when I was really like, oh, okay. I really see the perspective of like both worlds. But like this is really why I fight for trans people, especially trans women of color. It's because those girls in jails taught me so much about myself. It's like they carry so much pride in who they are. And it's a lot. It's a lot trying to be trans and gender not confirming in places like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was being surrounded by them just like I don't know, it's kind of healed me in a way, but also taught me so much about myself and about my transness and about who I am.
What is it like? I guess I'll open up to you. I've been arrested before.
Yeah.
I've been to jail, guys. I've been to jail. I've spent some hours in the jail.
Yeah.
But I remember one of the most frightening things that when I walked in was that there was a sign basically saying that I might be sexually assaulted while I'm in prison, which was wild to me. Like, that's like I don't know why that's on a sign and when you first go to jail, but that was my experience. So, when you go into these jails and you see people, or so are they being segregated because of their gender identity or their sexuality?
Um, Not really. I think they're like in a different type of pod. But of course they have to be. intersected at times. Some of them do have protective custody, some of them don't. It just depending on their case. I really can't really talk about that. But for the most part, yeah, they were like, on deck with like men, you know.
That's interesting. So, psychology, like the psychology of that. So when you go in, what's kind of like their mentality? Are they in a like a survivalist kind of mode?
Oh yeah, I think like to be honest, me coming and the way that I look sometimes can be off-putting to certain type of people. And me coming into this situation, I just remember like, I have to like hold it back because here it's a different world. It's a world of survival. It's a world of like, you have to gain these people trust to actually teach them something and like let them know that like, I'm here for you. Because how many times have they heard that people come in and give them program, but really don't sit them down and talk to them and really know like what do you need for us out there to help you, to lead us, to get you on your feet once you come out.
That makes sense. That makes total
Yeah.
sense. You said that it's been healing for you, and in what way?
Oof. Well, because I think after doing reality TV and dealing and being in the art of drag for like almost 20 years, it's a different world. It's a world where you have to put on the facade and you're just character and it's all this, I hate to say it, ass kissing and all this other stuff. Here,
Yeah.
being there was like, no, this is my authentic self. This is has nothing to do with TV. This has nothing to do with drag. This is Monica at her finest, and this is everything that I am doing the work for to prevent, these type of situations.
When do I would imagine maybe a lot of people you work with are already familiar with you.
Yeah.
And so are they, how do you separate them being starstruck from being a client?
Well, first of all, I let it be known. I'm just like, I'm here as the person hired to do the job. I'm not the celebrity. I'm not that person. I take, because anywhere you go, of course, I'm always clocked in a way. Oh my God, I love you on TV. I take it, but then I'm like, oh, thank you. But I know how to reverse it really quick. I'm like, so what can I bring you here today? Because sometimes when I first got hired, it was a lot. Because like every other day, there's somebody like coming in the drop-ins where I was running not really to be at the drop-ins, really to be at the drop-ins to see me. And it's just like it was a tricky situation, but as I got along, I knew how to like separate the two.
And you were the first trans person to come out during a season of a television show. Okay, right?
Yes,
Yes. And
yes.
so, I watched you and I definitely saw the growth between your two seasons on the show. But what I want to ask is that when that happened and you left and you went home after bearing your biggest secret, right? To the world, how did you come home and adjust? What was that like for you? Like, how can people adjust? Like, what was the adjustment period? Because I know you were probably scared coming home, right?
Oh yes, of course. But my thing was people really don't know a lot of the backstory. I was already presenting trans before going on Drag Race. At that time, quote unquote, as I look back at it now, not really. I feel like I was in my non-binary stage trying to figure out my life. But at that time, there wasn't a direct word for it. Um, I was more worried about the people that have seen me do drag and knew that I am trans, see me in that form, because when that life on Drag Race, I lived a life where I never even went out during the daytime. I only was out at night times when I went to do drag at the clubs, and I would be at the after hours to the daytime, living that lifestyle. So yeah, it was a lot to adjust to, but I think everybody kind of around me knew already. But it was a lot for me to accept it.
So you didn't go out during the day.
No, no, no,
Was
no.
that because you could not transform during the day?
Yes, and I had so much anxiety behind it. Only
Yeah.
because I'm not trying to sound conceited or whatever, but I was a young 17-year-old taking female hormones.
Yeah.
You know, at such a young age, I was developing and looking a certain way, and anywhere I would go, it was a attraction everywhere, and it was a lot for me to handle.
Hmm.
So, you know, I would never leave the house. And if I would leave the house, it would not be dressed up in the daytime. I would be like, you know, in joggers and like facial hair from like the day before, you know, just living that type of life for a long time.
Yeah. So when you went on hormones, when you were 17, um, did you have to talk to your parents or were you on your own at this time?
Yeah, I am adopted by my aunt, which is my mom's sister, which is also my godmother. But she passed away years ago. Me and my mom have a really funny relationship. I mean, we love each other to death, but we're so much alike that we really don't get along half the time.
Yeah.
So at one point, I found myself living in Kentucky with my mom.
Okay.
You know,
How old
so
were
it
you?
was, I was about 13 to 15.
Okay. Okay.
And that's where I knew everybody knew I was gay. I was out at 11 years old. You know, so it was not a secret that I was this person. But it wasn't until I got to Kentucky and got to high school is where I started to feel different in who I was and how I was presenting. And then in Kentucky, there's a place called Evansville. You would have to drive to like 30 minutes to go. That's where all the kids in high school would go hang out. Well, I started dressing up on the weekends like a girl and like dibble dabbling in that world in Kentucky, in the middle of Indiana. And that's when I started to feel like, oh, this is where, this is how I've always felt incomplete. But now I'm starting to understand what's going on with me.
So, well, how how did you get exposure
Like, what do you mean?
to like figuring this out?
Oh, okay. Okay. So as I come from Kentucky, my cousin has a gay friend, a gay guy friend. I ended up connecting with this person, and this person was the outlet to the gay world.
Hmm.
You know, like taking me to the block, showing me real trans women, showing me sex work, the whole nine yards. So as soon as I came and met that person, it was like what, a year, not even a year, that I was already taking hormones off the street, buying them off of people, and having certain people inject me, and you know, just living the
You
life.
were on the edge. That's
But
crazy. That's crazy.
oh, let me tell you something. And then I got first I started hormone therapy off the streets, and then a girlfriend introduced me to sex work.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's when my whole world was like, oh my God, like you can be a girl, like, oh my God. You know, it was at that time to me a little bit glamorous. It sounds crazy to say, but you know, for
No, I
somebody
get it.
that's young and
Yeah.
always wanting to be a girl, and now you have all of this at your access, it's so easy to get like caught up in so much. And I did exactly that.
Well, I escorted in college, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So I always felt like I was good at that,
Yeah.
but not stripping. Like my stripping career ended and beginning on the same night. Christina Milian, Dip It Low. I cannot hear that song. Like I cannot. Like
That
I
used to be one of my money
absolutely,
makers in the back
I
day.
cannot. I cannot. It takes me back, and I'm just like, no, that was not my best days trying to be a stripper. Okay, so going from then until now, what would you say have been some of your biggest successes being out as a trans woman? Besides
Um,
television, I'm sure, but television probably opened doors to a lot of things though, right?
oh yeah, of course. You know, I ended up making 30 under 30. That's huge here in Chicago. It's a Chicago Tribune. Um, I ended up performing with Miley Cyrus. And then after season 5 and I came out, I started to dabble in advocacy, like showing up to like colleges and like at that time speaking what I thought I knew. Because people don't realize after you do a TV like RuPaul's Drag Race, and once it's out, you don't have a life. Your life is theirs. You're contracted. So for me, I didn't. I stopped actually. I think my whole way, I didn't really start taking hormones till like maybe 2 years down back into it when I started to calm down. Because I couldn't tour and do it. It was like starting to conflict. It was a lot. And then I started partying more, like all the success and going on the road and like,
So you stopped hormones while you were touring?
yes, I had to.
What was that like mentally and emotionally for you while
Oh,
you were touring?
it was horrible. I don't know. People, I think about it now, it was sad because I would be out at a gig, I'd be so happy and like all in like telling my success story about my transness, and then I go back to my hotel and like be on the floor crying my eyes out, knowing that I had to go out to like a next gig and like put it together. It got to the point where it got so repetitive that I found myself living through what I went through all over again, if that makes sense.
No,
I was like trapped in it. I couldn't like see what was like over. I couldn't enjoy the success because I felt like everywhere I went, people wanted to know the story. People wanted to know the issue
Hmm,
between me and my mom. And like, it was a lot for somebody to handle at that time.
that's
but
insane.
was your
Yeah.
mindset kind of like, because I mean, you were coming from season 5 into All Stars 8, and then
Oof, All
uh
Stars 8. Jesus.
yeah. And so my thing is that were you worried about your own personal happiness when you were presented the contract, because you had to sign a new contract obviously because it had been some time.
Yes.
Did you think when you were signing it that it was going to be what it was, or
No.
yeah.
Um, I was dealing in 2020, my world changed drastically for everybody. I had my own show at Jackhammer for about 5 years. It ended. I didn't have a job. I didn't know what was next for me. What did I do? Know what I knew best at the time. I got right back into sex work. you
Okay.
know
Yeah.
so for me, that was my focus for 3 years, 3 to 4 years. I wasn't doing drag like that. So then when they came back knocking at my door, I was already dealing with stuff in my life like my mental health. I got a medication, and I was really doing the work on myself. So when they came knocking, I'm like, the universe is speaking to me, finally answering, like this is it. Not realizing what the internet is now and what the world is now.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it just threw me for a loop. It threw me for a loop where I found myself like, what the hell did I do? Like, this is the moment where not everything presented to you is good. Not everything and every opportunity that's given to you, you should take just because it's about TV or having that success.
So it's just like, and that's it. Because look, we hear ton, like I'm very skeptical about, I said skeptical. I'm very skeptical about, my interest of wanting to pursue and how far I want to get into actually being in that world. But like, that's the thing. Like, reality television and all industries, it seems to be in our country, exploit a lot, and it's not. Yeah, I don't think that show and the fan base, like, you are taking a risk. I feel like going out there because you were putting yourself out to some of the most
Oh,
toxic fandom that is
let me,
possibly out there.
I was not ready for it.
Yeah.
And I remember leaving the set and coming back home, flying in, and I swear to you, the next day, the whole cast is leaked. Everything that's happening is leaked. So fans are already attacking me before they even get to see me do my thing. So already I'm like, oh fuck. They know what's going on. They know the order. Like people are saying horrible things about me. It's like before the show even started. So it was, yeah. I
I don't
was
know
like,
who that leaker is, but they do it every year. They already
That
did it for
sounds
the
like the
next
Drag
year.
Race fandom.
Whatever.
yeah. I
Well,
feel like no.
but navigating sex work, sex work is real work. And I think this is I just, when it comes to sex, I just feel like we need to be like responsible. We need to be adults. We need to have conversations. I love being able to be a part of my community and just have very just casual sexual conversations all the time. And it
Yeah, I
makes
mean,
it feel so normal. And not that normal is the word here, but it feels routine. It feels like, it feels right. It feels like we should all be able to freely, openly talk about our sex lives, and things like that. People can continually, I don't identify as gay, but I'm sure that I get gay all the time because people speak predominantly with men, okay? But I'm any hole is a goal. I tell everybody, like I'm an equal opportunity. Look, you put a person next to me and I'm looking into their eyes. I'm a Scorpio. So I'm trying to feel, do I have a connection with this person? Like, and if I'm feeling you, I'm feeling you. But like this isn't something that I get to talk about a whole lot. So and I don't feel like I have space for it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I had some guys sending me some awful mean messages telling me, oh, you're not bi, you're not pan, you're not this, and you have HIV and you're spreading it, and I hope that you die. And I'm just kind of like three times from different accounts, okay?
Yeah, you got a local hater.
Well, I've minimized apps that I'm on, so I don't have to worry about dealing with the foolery.
yes,
But
that's why I like
I don't
private
know what it is,
age.
Monica, but there is just something. Uh, why do we live in a world where we want to like? I get so pissed off. Like I'll see on social media, Britney Spears. Let me put that for like that's my girl. Okay, that girl's been through a lot. But the way that people make fun of her and bash her for a life that she didn't even have control over,
But
like
love her
it's so
still.
weird.
But love her still. But still would do
Exactly.
those things. Yeah.
Right? So my thing is that we're just in this society where, this is what throwing lights about. Like, throwing shade was fun when it first came out, but now I'm exhausted of throwing
I'm
shade.
beyond exhausted. Beyond
Exhausted. Like I'm like, this is not helping us. You know what I'm saying?
that
Like
one and clock it. Over it.
if your
Over it.
first interaction or first vibe is to when you meet someone to be like, oh, I'm going to read this person to be cool. Like, why are we doing this? Why have we evolved to this? That's the question. So, we want to focus on pivoting and uplift and like instead of reading somebody, ask somebody how they're feeling. You know what I'm saying? We're all feeling something right now, especially trans people. I say,
I
look,
think
I know I feel like a second class citizen, so Monica, you got to feel like a third. You know what I'm saying? Like,
at times I had to remind myself that because I came out in the early 2000s, world was very different. It was very, very different. Nowadays, it's everybody wants to be trans, and I don't want to be offensive to nobody, but I
yeah,
feel like the internet glamorizes the trans experience. Like one day you take a hormone, then you have like double D's and like a BBL, and like that's not realistic. That's not realistic. That's not how that goes. That's why I always be 100% with people. When it came to me having surgery, I didn't start having surgery till like literally 5 years ago because I was like, nope, I don't want nothing about that life. I don't need hormones to be a girl, and I was younger at that age, but I feel nowadays everybody wants to do what everybody's doing because they feel like it's cool and it's gonna get them views, and it's sad.
I think having for some the trans movement to be like an aesthetic type of thing has been a disservice to the community. Um, it's just like I did not have my first trans friend or knew a trans person until I was 29. We're the same age. I'm 41. And
Okay.
that was because I decided to be a leader in the local community. And so I became president of a pride organization. And so I got to meet queer people. And well, back then there wasn't a Q. I don't know if people remember that.
Yeah.
Like it was LGBT. That is it. And I was in a conservative area. So when we were talking about adding a Q, we don't want no Q. Queer. Like it just, you're right. I mean, that was 13 years ago, which isn't really that long ago.
It
That was
isn't.
2013, it's 2026. And but I've been so blessed and so grateful to have gotten involved in the leather community and been able to be saturated in all of these identities and all this originality and this so I'm so grateful for that because it's definitely not everywhere and not everyone has exposure, but like I've been exposed to everything now. So like, what I'm talking about. You can walk past something and not flinch or
Yeah.
not think it, you know what I'm saying? Not think it's a big deal. GW,
Yeah,
you got anything
totally.
specific you want to ask Monica?
Yeah, so here in Austin, I am backing a program called Rainbow Safety Squad. It's to provide escorts to queer people, trans people, people of color, anyone who feels vulnerable or unsafe when walking alone at night downtown, especially when they've been partying with friends. Maybe they've been drinking. Maybe they're wearing an outfit that's a little bit more revealing or attention grabbing than they're used to. So no one has to walk alone. That's our mission, and it's to just create safety and let someone go to sleep at night knowing I am loved, I am protected, I am wanted.
Yeah.
What is something that would make you feel wanted? What's something that makes you feel loved or seen, and that you think should be passed on, to the community?
I think one thing I have learned that I'm thankful for is my family and my chosen family, and surrounding myself with people that don't just tolerate me. They understand me. They know me. That's where I'm safe at. Like, people ask me, how come you stepped away from drag? I'm like, I started to find myself not being safe in those spaces anymore. As somebody that's been in the business for almost 20 years and given that part of myself to my community, I found myself like, oh my God, I don't even feel safe in these environments anymore the way that I did. So moving forward at my job, I always make sure that I always just hear people out. I think that from the experience working with trans and gender non-confirming, all they need is care and they need people to listen and to stop telling the stories for them to let them tell their own stories and for them to, you know, be open to taking help.
Well, Monica, we are at the end. I've got one last, it goes by fast. It goes by fast. I have one last question I ask everybody that comes on the show. What is something in our community that you feel we're not shedding enough light on? Or people?
Um, I think you said it earlier, the successes. I think a lot of us sometimes on the media just are focused on the stuff that we've been through, all the negative things about us. So I would say that for sure.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we can start to. I'm trying, Monica. And luckily I've got my partner here that we're able to align, but sometimes it takes two, because one can get really, really hard, especially when you're not getting feedback and you're doing so like,
The internet.
this is episode 172 that you're on right now.
Oh wow.
172. I'm about to hit 200 episodes. So
Oh, that's
uh,
good.
it's been a journey. I've interviewed over 200 people. And I feel like every interview I absorb that person, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's really cool. But I am 100% so grateful that you took your time to do this interview. Now that we're friends, I guess you're gonna see me when I come up to Chicago.
Yes, for sure, for sure. You say you do the leather competition?
So I go to it's Mo yeah,
I'll be.
so I hosted the POC panel this past year, People of Color, which I'm probably gonna do again next year. So
Mhm.
but I'm trying to come for to do an actual throwing light panel before then. So it could be likely I come like in January or something like that. So I'm
That's
gonna
my birthday. Let me know for sure.
okay, I'm turning 42 before you. Mine's October 25th. I'm a
You're in
Scorpio.
October?
Scorpio October.
Yeah, my trans mother's also in Scorpio.
Well,
So
So
many Scorpios.
I love Scorpios.
we are,
I get
I
along
bet
with, well,
she's,
not all
I
of them,
bet you,
some
I
of
bet
them.
you she's protective of you too, right?
Oh, vice versa. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we're like this.
Right on. All right, Monica. Well, thank you for being on Throwing Light. GW, you gonna join me
Thank
more?
you.
You gonna join me more? You want to come
Oh,
Absolutely. Yes,
I
I'll
didn't
be here
say
much
that.
more often.
All
And
right,
I'll be in
y'all.
Chicago too, Lord willing, hopefully
Oh,
competing.
he'll be
Let,
competing next year,
IMLDB next
Monica.
year.
He'll be competing next year.
well, let me know. I'll be their support.
For
This
sure.
year I
Yeah,
wasn't
I'm
keep
gonna let
there.
you
following
know when I'm coming
Davenport's
up there. Don't
news.
worry. Don't worry.
For
All
sure.
right, y'all. Let's be another episode of Throwing Light, and we're out.
Bye.